Good morning. So for my next Tactical Talk video, I'm going to be featuring a video from Police Activity. And this video is from Livonia, Georgia. In this video, there was a traffic stop. There was an officer, Jeffrey Martin, from the Livonia Police Department. He pulls a vehicle over. The driver, the suspect, is Kareet Gordon, 22 years old. He is basically driving a stolen vehicle, and eventually there's a Captain Michael Shulman that comes into the scene to assist the officer, Jeffrey Martin, on the vehicle stop. In the video, I'm going to play it for you. The suspect, Kareet Gordon, eventually shoots both the officer and the captain. So I'm going to do a little tactical breakdown on the video and talk about, the importance of giving clear, strong, verbal commands, and also, having cover. So as I start the video here, the video starts with the captain's body camera as he's entering the car stop was in a parking lot. There's no video before that actually shows the initial interaction between Officer Martin and the suspect. The video picks up with the captain then assisting the officer, and the suspect is already out of the vehicle, and so is the officer. As the as the captain approaches the suspect, you hear him actually tell the officer, "Hey, get his hands out of his pocket." The officer either doesn't hear him or ignores him, but the captain is walking towards both the suspect and the officer, and then instructs the suspect himself, "Hey, take your hands out of your pocket." As he was doing that, he was actually in a good position behind cover, which I think, based on the video, looks like the suspect's car. I don't know why the suspect was already out the vehicle. Again, I've read some, information about this case, but there's no real details, about what, really led to this. But, it could have been that, because this is Officer Martin had pulled this vehicle over in the parking lot, so maybe the suspect already had gotten out of the vehicle before Martin was able to, confront him. Nevertheless, the captain gets there, and as he's walking up to the suspect, Officer Martin is really, standing beside the suspect. The captain is actually in a good position behind that car, and which gives him cover. So, that's important. If, he instructs him, "Hey, take your hands out of your pocket," whenever, when you give that command, it's definitely extremely beneficial to do so behind cover, right? Because in case that suspect decides, I'm gonna, instead draw my firearm and now, engage in a shootout, you're behind cover, which gives you a huge tactical advantage, right? In this case, it's, the captain is closing the gap quickly, probably because Officer Martin is already, standing right beside the suspect. So, in this case, he's assisting him, and, he has to kind of close the gap to help him out. Because he's already there. So I'll play along here. The captain now closes the gap. So you hear the captain tell him once to take his hands out of his pockets, which he does, but then you hear the captain go on and ask him, "Do you have anything on you or any weapons on you?" And then you see the suspect, after he was just told to keep his hands out of his pocket, now because of that follow-up question, he now puts his hands back in his pocket, telling him, "I don't," and kind of searching for things and like handing him an ID or something. You know, this is what I mean about the importance of clear, concise commands, right? Listen, hey, I want to see your hands. I want your hands out of your pockets. Why is that important? Because you, and I've mentioned this in other videos, you want to know you have a problem right away, right? If I tell someone, hey, I want to see your hands, I want your hands out of your pockets. If it's clear and concise, so if they then disobey and put their hands in their pockets, I know I have a problem, right? Before I get closer, before I'm in a less tactical position, I want to know I have a problem right away and then deal with that problem. That may be me drawing my firearm, right? Before he's able to draw his firearm on me, right? That's the whole point, is to basically get the drop on the suspect before he's able to get the drop on you. So that's why it's important to give those clear and concise commands. So it's clear to the suspect, it's clear to everyone, and if it's disobeyed, now you know you have a problem, and now you deal with that problem. In this case, you hear the captain ask him once, take your hands out of your pockets. He does, but then puts his hands back in his pockets after the captain asked him if he had anything on him. Captain, a second time, tells him, hey, hands out of your pockets, right? And then he does again, and then you see him kind of make a furtive movement, and that's when he draws a firearm, gets the drop on the captain and the officer, shoots the captain and the officer, and flees. You know, as far as the officer, I don't know if this is a new police officer. You know, you even see at one point in the video, you know, he like turns his back on the suspect and the captain as the captain is dealing with him, because I had to watch it again, but it looks like he moves away to talk to the dispatcher to get a return on the vehicle. You know, just turning his back on the situation, and you know, obviously not a very good tactic. So, yep, hope you enjoyed the video. Stay safe. God bless.